Yes, Ed's got some important comments to make here that he shared with me ahead of time.
I will share with you that myself and several of my colleagues are very dismayed at the marginalization of the student events at this conference. There's one tiny little mention of it in the program. It says 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock in very small print, academic showcase. There's nothing about what the academic showcase is. It says it's in the Lakeshore Ballroom. You can't, which is on the 4th floor, but there's nothing in the program that tells you the Lakeshore Ballroom is on the 4th floor. The student posters are up there. The MSC wall is up there. It's a student ghetto. There's no foot traffic from anybody who's not directly engaged with the students going through the area. So there's no, it's just really been marginalized. And I'm not the only one who's very unhappy about it. Several of us, ASU, UCLA, Kansas State, purchased booths. If you go up and look where the booths are, they're hidden in a corner where nobody can see them, and none of us will ever purchase a booth again. So it's very disappointing in the way it's been managed in this conference.
Thank you, Ed. Very important conference comments.
And in this facility, we couldn't have the student competitions in the exhibit hall just because of space constraints, and we did
Well,
what we thought was the next best.
it's okay. We don't need to necessarily, provide a.
Put a notice in the program that the student events are on the 4th floor with posters and an MSC wall competition. How hard is that?
So Ed and I were talking about this before this business meeting, and I do think we need to get some of these concerns to the standing committee on our conferences, and we can elevate, the visibility of the student, the student program the next time. So let's just make a mental note, Brad, and make sure that gets done. I've got too many things I'm holding here. Okay, we got about 10 minutes left. I don't want to go over time.
I mean, we have a committee that looks after the student activities, and they need to be the shepherds of this. So it's not that we need to go, we need them telling us, keep it in the exhibit hall, and pushing on us.
Yeah.
And
Figuring out a different alternative that isn't possible.
the argument that that's the only space that is available just goes to the marginalization. So the students are last in priority, and they get shoved into the corner.
That's absolutely not true. I know we have 10 minutes left, but Ed, I mean, I've done nothing but think about this conference for the last 2.5 years. I mean, I can assure you, if we may have made a bad decision putting it up there, but it wasn't because we were trying to marginalize it.
Well, what about not putting anything in the program about it?
If you want to sit down and go through all the errors in the program, you've got 12 hours. The program
goes to the marginalization of the student.
Well, Ed, how about this? If you would be so kind, send me an email with your concerns. I will make sure it gets to the right committee, and we will bring these concerns to the forefront and hopefully not repeat them. So if you'd be willing to do that, I'll take it from there.
Actually, you'll get something from you, Sugar. You won't get it.
That'll be just fine. So some of the numbers for the Geo-Institute. Here's our membership numbers. We've been bouncing around between 12 and 13,000 for the last few years. And that's about 60% private engineering firms and consultants, about 14% from academia, and government contractors and so forth make up the rest.
How does the membership track versus ASCE members? Same set?
I don't have that data. Brad, what or Jean-Louis, what's?
We're doing relatively well. ASC membership is increasing, but paid ASC membership is on the decline.
And it's worse than this, I believe. Yeah.
Level to slightly increasing.
There's 4 years ago, there were 75,000 dues-paying members. Today, there are 65,000 dues-paying members. The budget is in the hole by $4 million.
Mm.
And we're plugging the hole with the foundation money, raising money. And we're plugging the hole with the return on investment of the reserve. And we're starting to dig in the reserve.
So we're doing better. Right.
We're doing that.
So the decline that we're tracking is slightly less than the decline in ASCE.
But the direction is the same, budget-wise too. We're not in the red, but our reserves have been going down.
We're much more nimble, and this is one of the areas where we can attract more organizational members. We've raised OM dues, and that's been, in terms of percentage, a big boost for us.
Good, all right. Good questions. Appreciate the feedback. So our graduate student organizations keep climbing. We're at 38 now. We just approved 2 more. Oh, gosh. Iowa State and LSU, Louisiana State Universities. Local chapters are at 51, and the Minnesota chapter was number 50, so we're glad to have our partner MGS here as one of the local chapters. Our LIC, Local Involvement Committee Chair, is Dan Mart, and we have 8 regional representatives that are liaison to the 51 chapters. The largest chapters are the ones you might expect: New York, Seattle, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, San Francisco. Also with local activities, we sponsor, the GI sponsors the Cross USA Lecture every year, who this year is Bob Backus. And of course he follows in the footsteps of many other Cross USA lecturers that we've had. When was the first one? What year was the first Cross USA? Does anybody? Was it 50? Was this the first? Okay, all right, so Jean Louis was our first one. Very good. What year was that? Do you remember, Bob? 2010. Okay, so 2010 was the first? Yeah, I wasn't sure. Student programs, we've talked about the student programs. We have competitions. Organizational members have grants. We've got, now I don't know if that 400 is for this conference or not. Brad, how many students do we have here this time? 370. Okay, so close. Rounded up to 400 or so at Geo-Congress. And so obviously it's a priority of the Geo-Institute. We need to do a better job. Really appreciate the comments here at today's meeting. I look forward to receiving that email, and let's do something substantive with the email for the future. Organizational members, this has actually been a real positive for our budget, but we have over 70 OMs now, organizational members, and they have a variety of benefits that come along with that distinction. Some opportunities with GEOSTRATA, reduced advertising rates and dedicated section for visibility. They have an opportunity to serve on the OMC, Organizational Member Council. They get a reduced admission for any GI event and so forth. The attendance, conference attendance, very clearly when we have the big conferences like IFC and so forth, and we partner with IFAI. The first one was in Austin around 2005, and then let's see, I think Dallas in 2011 or so, and then the other 2, those are GeoFrontiers, and then 2 IFC conferences. We're doing IFC next year, and where is that? Dallas. Oh, in Dallas, right, in Dallas again, okay. And so, but in general, you know, the conferences are very successful. GeoStrata, we just had our 20-year celebration and acknowledgement for Jim Withiam for all his great work there. And I'll go ahead and keep moving on. Board level committees, we've got 13 board level committees. They report straight to the board from awards, TCC, publications, and so forth. And then we have, let's see, 20 technical committees, all the way from computational geotechnics to unsaturated soils. And the new one, which the board is going to review the proposal soon, will be the Ideas Innovations Committee. And Anand Pupala is interested in chairing that committee to launch it. And then lastly, we have our liaison, International Secretary Bob Holtz here in the room. Done a great job. Bob's been the International Secretary for the GI as long as I've been on the board, and I think way before. When was your first year, Bob?
Probably 2002, so
oh.
maybe time for a change.
Well, we appreciate nearly 20 years of serving in that capacity, absolutely. And so the GI is the U.S. National Society, obviously, as part of the ISSMGE, and the dues, you can opt in to pay $20, and it goes towards international conferences and technical activities and young professional opportunities and so forth. Okay, so we've had a lot of, we actually had a really positive discussion here and lively discussion. I appreciate that. If there's any more comments, now's the time.
Go back to the International Society. Where do we stand with the fund?
The fund.
It's doing well, so it's $500,000 or more.
That's good.
And is it growing and not being the benefits that we putting in the benefits?
Our dues kind of track that fall off of the membership. We used to have 3,300 people that opted to pay $20, and that's dropped down to about 3,000. I don't know, I haven't seen it for 2020 yet, number of dues, but it's gone down the last 3 years.
And those are 3,000 of our 12,500, right? Yep.
And so $6,000 a year or 60,000.
60, yeah.
times that in the bank.
And we haven't.
We're not,
If there are benefits of use, we can put that money.
I'm trying to keep that, just like Harvey Walls did with ASCs. They wanted us to fold it into the endowment 25 years ago, and we
yeah, it's separate.
keep it.
So,
Have the
so it's very,
agreement that was signed by the ASC president at that time, the file if you need it.
so it's very solvent, which is good.
That's not the point. My point is, what are we gonna use that money for?
Well, we had some plans, the IBC has had some plans for use of that. We haven't formulated those well enough. The committee fluctuates a lot. It's got 9 members, but I think only 3 or 4 are gonna be there. That's one of the problems.
Let's go in the back first and then,
Membership feels, feels the international activities are as important.
we'll do 2 more questions.
Yeah,
Yep.
so just curious of the reduction in the membership, is it the retiring baby boomers or people are not getting enough return and they're just dropping?
Well, it's all about value. In fact, Cord and I had this discussion last night down in the reception hall. We always have to be cognizant, and the board is, we gotta bring value, and more value to our members. And that's why they will continue to pay dues and keep us in business.
So it's basically drop out.
As far as,
Return value?
as far as those sorts of demographics, I don't have an answer for you about, the way the population is changing, but, yeah.
We've studied that, and there is, retirement of baby boomers is one thing, and the other thing is there's an increase in competition
Yes.
in the number of professional societies. And so that makes it tougher, and I think the biggest potential we have, and that's why I'd like to spend a lot of effort in that area, is only 20% of our students transition to AC membership. So we have all this pool potential members that we're not tapping into.
Do you think part of that's because the firms aren't paying for their?
60% of the firms are paying for their employees' dues, and we have a partnership program. If you have more than your company signs more than 5 members, you get 20% discount. If you send more than 50 members, you get a 30% discount. AECOM signs 1,200 members, and they get, 35% discount. So there's value in the group, so in universities, for example, Department of Civil Engineering can sign a bunch of people together and take advantage of the discounts.
We gotta look into that, right? It's departments.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
most of the companies that, like John was saying, most of the companies only pay for one committee. So if there are 2 insurance, earthquake research institute or something, then the members have to decide which one to go for. Most of the companies only pay for one membership, like yours.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and wrap up. We're at the end of our time,
Can
and,
I ask one question, and maybe?
Sure.
What is the position, or what is the Geo-Institute doing when it comes to childcare at conferences?
we have it here. And as we heard on Monday at the board meeting, that no one has signed up, but it is available. Did anybody sign up since Monday, Brian? So we,
I was in conversations of
Yeah.
people that are kind of upset at the fact that it's not free. I mean, I hear it from both directions, and I wanna know if you
Well,
have a position on this. Ed and I, again, when we looked into this.
I'm not sure we do.
There's cost, there's,
Yeah, it's
there's
cost.
insurance issues.
Yep.
And so.
So let's, I don't wanna get too much into this, cause we don't have all day. To have these people here, physically here, in the building, it cost us $9,000.
And they're all here, we're paying them.
Yes, any fees that people were to pay in help to subsidize that cost. So if people came in and used 400 hours of childcare, we would get some portion of our $9,000 reduced.
Take the dogs, might as well take a nap.
Leave them with toys. So it was a pretty significant outlay for us.
But it wasn't free?
No, but we felt like it was worth it because that it was worth trying.
What was the fee?
What is it?
$12 an hour.
For candidates.
I talked to people last year, and they felt like it's reasonable to have they didn't plan to bring the kids because they didn't understand it early enough. I don't know how to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we have tried to be responsive.
Widely enough early.
Yeah. So we have tried to be responsive on the board, and, maybe we can have more, some better success in the future.
I thought it was highlighted well on the registration. I didn't even hear it. We tried to.
Anyway, I just heard some
Comments?
disgruntled members that are not happy about the fact that,
Really?
I told you that the budget, I mean, as you are, you're pulled in many different directions. Hey, childcare and travel for students and this and that. Meanwhile, there's a $4 million hole in the budget. And so it's difficult. But
Yeah.
so if you want to raise money for childcare, I'll contribute. As an independent funding way of doing it, because I cannot do it within the budget, but if I can help,
Thank you, Jean-Louis. No, appreciate the question and the leadership on that issue. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up. It's 11:30. Really appreciate everybody for coming out for the business meeting. I think we actually had more attendance than maybe some years past, so that's good. Have a good rest of the day.